Hello, dwellers of the internet, welcome back. Right now, I want to talk about waiting in line for merchandise. You know what? I can't even talk about this as a broad concept yet. Possibly, I don't know. I might talk about it in that respect later. But what I want to talk about specifically right now is my experience in which my brother and I went to the Rickmobile, which is a traveling bus that goes from city to city. It goes to different locations that are preemptively chosen for them to sell Rick and Morty exclusive merchandise for a couple of days at a time. And this Rickmobile is extremely rare. I believe only like one or two gets sent out during a season of when Rick and Morty is airing. So whatever merchandise they're offering that is exclusive, you can only get at the Rickmobile during this time. So it's time gated and it's exclusive. It's not stuff you can just get, on eBay unless you bought it from somebody who was attending the Rickmobile, or at any random store or on adultswim.com kind of thing. This is stuff that only the die-hard fans can acquire because they were the ones who were willing to go out of their way to stand in line for 3 hours and go get this stuff. Now, the specifics of my experience with this Rickmobile are, it's good. It was a good experience. I want to point that out, first of all. But the reasons why it was a good experience, may surprise you. It's not because of the rarity of the item acquisition. It wasn't because of the amount of money that I could possibly gain from getting an item from this Rickmobile or anything like that. From selling anything on eBay or anything, or any other site or anything like that. What made it special for me is the fact that I was into this show, my brother was into this show. I went to this Rickmobile stop with my brother, so we both were already enjoying ourselves by the time we got into the line. It was, it's something that brings up the question of, the timeless age-old question of, is it the destination or is it the journey? Because the destination technically was to get, the goal of acquisition was to gain Rick and Morty merchandise that was exclusive and that nobody else would ever get their hands on. But the journey, the standing in line and the driving there and the waiting to get this merch was what ended up being valuable to me, at least, because we stood there and not only were we interested in Rick and Morty, but we were interested in the people that were also there for Rick and Morty. They were surrounding this place, this line, this mobile that offered up Rick and Morty merchandise. We were able to talk to them and converse with them and theorize with them and communicate with them on a level that is specific to a subject of interest, which is Rick and Morty, which is, I think, is an attribute of pretty much every convention you go to, every movie you go to, where there is a line that is, waiting for you to, which has a line for you, for any, fucking shit. I've been drinking. What I'm trying to say is that when you go to acquire a certain item from a rarely producing vendor or mobile, as the Rickmobile would do it. You don't just expect this item. You expect this. You don't expect it, but you don't just get this item that you're after. You get this sense of community. You get this sense of communication. You get this sense of understanding and mutual understanding that these people that are waiting here are also waiting there for the same thing you're after, not because of the rarity of the item. I mean, that plays a part in it, but it's ultimately because they're interested in the same kind of content you are, which breeds conversation, which breeds human relationship, which breeds, just interaction that you normally wouldn't have had with anybody else standing in a line for some basic bullshit that you would ever stand in line for. You stand in a line at the bank, to deposit your check, kind of thing, and it's extremely boring. It's nobody is there because they want to be. What's different about that is that when you stand in a line at the bank, you're not going to willingly talk to these people because you're not there for fun. You're not there for entertainment or any kind of indulgence in whatever your interests happen to be. When you're in line for Rick and Morty, when you're in line at GameStop for the game you want, that you've been waiting months to come out, that you've been waiting for months and maybe even a year since its announcement for it to come out, and you're in the line with the people who are also in line, you can automatically extract from that these people are here for the same reason that you are, and possibly for the same reasons, which incites conversation. You want to know what their favorite part about this game franchise is. You want to know how long they've been following it. You want to know why they're excited for it, because it will probably relate to you, and you will probably have some kind of common interest which builds upon not only a human communication aspect, but upon a common interest and a common desire to have your interests piqued from this artistic medium, this structure that has dubbed itself art, to people like you that happen to be interested in it. It's the same concept when you go to see a movie that you've been waiting years to come out for. Like, I mean, this is on a grand scale, but Star Wars, like when a Star Wars movie comes out, this is not only something that people are culturally and mentally invested in, but this is something on a huge fucking scale. This is something that people have had their childhoods defined by. This is something that they, possibly witnessed, up to 30 years ago, and they want to see what's next, kind of thing. At least that's the context of what's happening right now with, the production of The Last Jedi and whatnot. This is something that you go to communicate with people even more, not only because of the derivatives of perspectives that they might have, but because you know for a fact that this is not just a common interest. This is something that has shaped who you are as a human being, possibly. You know what I mean? It's intense, and it's an experience that is unlike any other. And I've got to say that this experience, this specific kind of experience, when you go to a certain kind of media unveiling where you for sure have some kind of relation to the people that are interested in it, is a lot more appealing than going somewhere because you have to, and because that place is, supposedly more important. It's all dependent. I guess ultimately with this video, I'm trying to convey my respect and enjoyment for events like when a movie or a piece of media comes out that people can enjoy wholeheartedly and can relate to each other with, because the experience is made more positive doubly and triply and quite possibly beyond that, just from the simple fact that other people are there to share it with you. If we didn't have other people, we wouldn't be able to be sure that we even existed. So I think that grants relevance to my point. Anyways, see you in the next one.